Mega churches are really popular, and the issue is that a lot of what mega churches teach, because they're based on being very seeker friendly and very comfortable, is that a lot of it's not biblically based. And I've been to a few mega churches in my life, but I wanted to share one experience that I had with, I guess, a bigger mega, probably more well-known mega church. So this was a few years ago when, this was probably 3 years ago. And I went with my friends. We went to college nights at this big church, this Passion City. We'll just say that, okay? Passion City, yeah, in Atlanta, where the Passion Conference is every year. And I've never been to the Passion Conference, so I can't really speak on that. But what I can tell you is that from the college experience, it's very much based on your senses and your feelings. You walk into this huge building and it says Jesus with all the lights and everything. And it's very much just, it feels like it's supposed to be an experience and not about getting to know the gospel or discipleship or growing in your faith. It just seems very, and that's not to say they're bad, that if you go to this church or you like this church or you listen to these pastors, because can I just say, Christy Nockels is one of my favorite Christian musicians, and she sings at this church. So I'm not trying to like badmouth it. I'm just trying to say there are problems with the mega church system, and there are. So we went once to, well, we went a bunch of times, but this one time we went, and when you walk in for their college night, they're blaring secular music. And I don't judge people, like, I listen to secular music like most people do, right? Like that's not the issue. But they're blaring it when you come in. So it's so focused on making you feel comfortable, making you feel good. It's not about Jesus. It's like we have so many distractions in the world. We have so much bombarding us. We come and have fellowship together with other believers. Can we like not have all the distractions? You know, it really bothered me even at the time. And then we walk in and we, you know, like they have a bunch of snacks and whatever. And I don't really care if people have cookies and coffee and, you know, or whatever at their, you know, fellowship event, or that to me isn't a big deal. But it seemed like so much of the emphasis was put on making people feel comfortable that it almost felt like a social group rather than let's get to know, what does the Bible teach? How do we be disciples? I felt like I couldn't get to know anyone there. There were probably 300, 400 people at the college group. This is at the college group, 300 or 400 people probably. And we were supposed to like break off into smaller groups at one point around us and discuss a couple of questions. And my friend and I tried to break off and into this other group, but it was too big. And one of the people that was in that group was very ugly to us, was very and I understand when things are really big, it's not about, it was just the atmosphere. People just weren't real. It felt very fake. I don't know how else to describe that. It felt very much Hollywood-esque. I don't know how else to say it. It just felt like it was so centered around how you feel and making people feel comfortable. And that's just not gospel. I don't remember a lot about the sermons, but I just remember them being like very funny and hip and trying to be relatable. And yeah, there were some verses there, but there wasn't anything that I really remembered about them that really like, oh, this really sticks with me, or I learned something new. And I guess more of my frustration really honestly came from the music. The blaring the secular music really bothered me, because it's like we have so many distractions. We should be focused on Jesus. And if they're gonna play music at a Christian, like when you're walking in, you know, before the service starts, can they at least play Christian music? I mean, it's not about, oh, it's a sin to listen to secular music. It's about, there's so many distractions we get. Can we focus on Christ? So I'm about to move again. And I'm really hoping and praying that I can find a good church community that's not super big, that's not all about feelings and fluff. I want the gospel. I want meat. I'm tired of milk. I want meat. I want to know the Bible better. I want to grow in my walk with Christ. I want to hear God better. I don't want fluffy self-help guru garbage. So